What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video here today, we're going to be talking about something called level 2 market data and how you can potentially use this to get a leg up on other investors out there by simply having access to more data that they simply may not have access to. Now, this video here, guys, is sponsored by Moomoo, which is a commission-free that offers free level 2 market data. I've been working with the Moomoo team over on my blog, investingsimple.com, for the last 6 months, so they approached me about some sponsored videos on the channel, and since I've worked with them a lot, I trust them, and I think they are a good option for those looking for more sophisticated data when it comes to trading. So that being said, guys, let's get into it. Let's talk about what is level 2 market data, how it can be used, and then I'm going to give you guys a live demo over on Moomoo looking at some of this level 2 market data. Now, real quick here, guys, I just have a few disclaimers to make here. First of all, I am not a financial advisor. This is not any sort of financial advice here, and you should always do your own due diligence and research above and beyond the information covered in this video. Also, this video here is for entertainment purposes only. And I've mentioned this in just about every video. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, guys, but keep an eye out for spam and scam comments below. I'm never going to ask you to text me or send me money or get a hold of me on WhatsApp. So if you're seeing anything like that, guys, that is a complete scam. And if you want to make sure it's me, look for that white check mark next to my name and the subscriber count that matches the one on my channel. So starting off here, guys, what exactly is Moomoo? Well, Moomoo is an advanced trading platform that offers access to commission-free trading on stocks, options, and ETFs. The company is based in the Silicon Valley in California. However, Moomoo Inc. is an indirect, wholly owned subsidiary of a larger company called Futu Holdings Inc. This is a fully SEC registered broker-dealer that is a member of FINRA and SIPC, so it carries the same exact SIPC insurance protecting your funds as any other brokerage out there. Now, in terms of why people choose Moomoo over other options out there, it mostly comes down to the data and the tools and the overall functionality of the app. Because these days, commission-free trading is pretty much available everywhere, so it comes down to the actual features that differentiate a lot of these apps. Of course, a huge benefit to Moomoo is that you get free level 2 market data and real-time quotes, and on others out there, oftentimes you have to pay a monthly subscription in order to get access to this data. And I'm going to tell you guys what that is, why you should know about it, and how to use it shortly. You also have access to advanced charting and research tools, as well as customizable dashboards. You can trade stocks, ETFs, options, and ADRs on foreign stocks, and they have a generous free stock incentive at the sign-up. So basically, guys, if you use the sponsored link down below, it is not an affiliate link, but Moomoo is basically going to hand you a bunch of free stocks just for opening the account and putting some money in there. I got some free stocks myself that I'm going to show you shortly when we do the app demo. But if you decide that you want to give Moomoo a shot after watching this video, make sure you use that sponsored link down below to ensure that you're getting all of the free stocks that you are supposed to. So now let's get more into this level 2 market data that is provided for free over on Moomoo. So Moomoo offers members access to this level 2 market data, and level 2 market data shows an investor the order book of a given stock, meaning that it highlights the bid and the ask price by various market makers. So typically speaking, if you go on a basic platform or app and you're looking at the actual stock, you're going to be given one bid price and one ask price, which is pretty much a combination of all of the current individual orders for individuals looking to buy and sell shares. Well, what level 2 market data does for you is it breaks that out into the individual order book, showing you exactly how many shares are looking to be traded and at what specific prices. So it can give you this big advantage here by giving you more insight into the price action of a stock, and it's a feature that most platforms simply do not offer, or they charge a fee for this. These level 2 quotes over on Moomoo are in real time and refreshing every 0.3 seconds. So what we have here, guys, is in the past, this type of sophisticated advanced data would only be available to people who paid a lot of money for expensive subscriptions, or if you were a Wall Street investor or, a hedge fund. But because of these new offering better and better features, it has truly, democratized this space and made it a more level playing field. So using Moomoo, you can begin getting access to some of that same data that the hedge funds and the more advanced larger investors are using that many of your other friends may just simply not have if they're not using an app that has level 2 market data. So we're going to cover more about this, but first I want to do a quick crash course here on some vocab review, just because these are going to be some important terms. So first of all, what is the bid and ask price? Well, the bid is simply the maximum a buyer is willing to pay for a stock, similar to if you're placing a bid on something at an auction. Whereas the ask, or referred to as the offer, is the minimum a seller is willing to sell a stock for. Now, the difference between those two is called the spread, and that's basically the difference between what people are looking to sell this thing for and what people are looking to buy this for. And the larger the spread, the less liquid a given stock is. So what tends to happen is popular stocks, like Apple, for example, would have a very, very small spread because of the sheer volume of trades being placed. But when you get into thinly traded stocks, penny stocks, over-the-counter markets, there's not nearly as many people looking to transact the stock, so that spread becomes wider and wider. And that's very important because if you're doing a market order, which is what most people do, that means that your order could be filled anywhere between that spread. So even if you think you're getting a good price for it, you could way overpay on a stock, or just basically end up getting in at a price way beyond what you thought you were getting in at. So that's why you have to understand bid versus ask, understand spread, and 100%, guys, consider using limit orders if you are trading thinly traded stocks, just because it can be a total wild card in terms of the actual price your order is getting filled at. However, with that level 2 market data, you get more insight into the order book, which could help you, again, better set your pricing on that limit order. Now, there is another entity that comes into play here, and that is something called a market maker. And a market maker is simply a firm or individual who provides liquidity to an exchange. So a market maker must constantly quote a bid and ask price with a correlating volume of shares, and without a market maker, investors who want to buy a given stock may not be able to if there wasn't a seller. So a lot of people hate market makers. They say, what are they in here for? Why do we have this middleman? But if you enjoy liquidity in the market, if you like the fact that when you try to buy shares of a stock, typically you get them filled almost immediately, well, that's exactly what the market maker is doing for you. If we didn't have a market maker, we would be having to trade shares with each other. And if you're looking to buy 500 shares of Apple, somebody else needs to be ready to sell 500 shares. That could cause liquidity issues in the market, a wider spread, and overall just a lot of less desirable features. So even though the market makers have been under scrutiny, it is still an important component to our financial markets, giving us that much needed liquidity. And also, guys, the market makers are not operating a charity here. They do make a small amount of money on the spread, or the difference between that bid price and the ask price. So just for example's sake here, let's say a market maker is currently quoting a bid of $10 and an ask of $10.05. This means they are willing to buy a stock for $10 from a prospective seller and sell the same stock at $10.05 to a prospective buyer. The spread of 5 cents is the profit per share that the market maker would receive. Now, the spread, the amount of money they make, is not usually whole cents. It's usually fractions of a penny per share. And then also a lot of brokerages will get a kickback from these market makers for sending orders their way. So that is something that does happen with a lot of commission-free brokerages, where they are sending your orders to certain market makers just because there is a way for them to earn revenue and be able to offer commission-free trading and other great services completely free. So now let's cover an example here of level 2 market data looking at Tesla stock over on Moomoo. So first of all, if we take a look at the order book here, we're taking a look at the bid price, and it's showing you how many shares people are looking to trade at what given price. So looking right here, there was an order for a bid price of 100 shares at 712.22. There was one for 43 shares at 712.11. And then I look down here, 300 share order to buy at 711.71. So instead of just having this overall bid price that's basically a combination of all of the individual orders, it breaks it out and you can see, okay, there's a big order here for someone trying to buy at, 711.71. Now, 300 shares, that's not a massive, buy order on Tesla. But like, for example, let's say you're looking at a given stock and you see a massive order of like 10,000 shares, that could be very insightful information that you just wouldn't have access to if you don't have level 2 market data. So this right here is showing you the number of shares shown in hundreds, and the first one is 10,000 shares. So actually, guys, you would have to take that 100 and add 2 zeros because it is shown in hundreds. So that's not actually 100 shares, that is 10,000 shares. And so that's not 43 shares there, that is 4,300 shares. And this right here would be 200 shares, showing you that actual order book. Now, to the left of that, you have another column of numbers, and this is the price of each bid ranked. So the top bid shows the maximum price a market maker is willing to buy, and in this case, it is 712.22. And then on the left there, the symbol ARCA is showing you the actual market maker who is facilitating those orders. Now, looking at the ask price, we see similar numbers as well. Right there on the far right, that is the number of shares shown in hundreds. So for example, that first one there says 44, but that's actually an order for 4,400 shares of Tesla. Beyond that, we have the price of each ask ranked. So the top ask shows the minimum price a market maker is willing to sell for. So in this case here, it's at 712.50. And then again, it shows ARCA, which is the market maker and their ticker symbol shown. So that's what level 2 market data is. That's how you find it. But what do you do with this data? Here's how to use level 2 market data. So what it's doing for you is it's giving you a deeper level of insight into the pricing action behind a given stock. So many platforms specifically just show you the level 1 market data, which is just the best bid and ask price at the current given time. It doesn't show you any of the other orders out there. Level 2 typically shows investors the top 10 to 15 bids and ask versus just the top 1 of each of those 2. So looking at the example here on the right here, looking at Apple, the bid and the ask price is fairly balanced. And I think that has mostly to do with the fact that it's a very actively traded stock, so it doesn't have much of a spread. This doesn't really mean it's an indicator of positive or negative sentiment, but looking at this example here, guys, we can see the order book, the bid, and the ask price. We can see the best current bid and asks. We can also see who the market maker is, but beyond that, we can see about 15 or more other orders, that you wouldn't be able to see without that level 2 market data. So this level 2 market data can provide excellent insight into the pricing action of a stock. It can help you understand the spread better. It can help you to better set limit orders in terms of executing orders on maybe more thinly traded stocks, but it should not be the only factor used when making an investment decision. That is because market makers can use deceiving tactics such as hiding the order volume or placing multiple bids instead of just one large one if they want to disguise, large lots of purchasing or selling. So that is kind of a disappointing thing here, that some of these market makers are doing things that are a little bit, deceiving. They're not illegal, they're just deceiving in order to kind of disguise things or maybe don't call attention to them. So it's another tool in the toolbox, but level 2 market data is not the only tool out there. There's no one tool out there that you need to use all the time, and that's always going to show you what to invest in. There's always risks involved, no matter what you look at, but I'm simply just showing you tools out there that you can take advantage of to give you potentially a leg up on other people and other investors. Also, guys, this level 2 market data is helpful to identify resistance and support areas of a given stock. And so if you're into technical analysis at all, that is a very important factor to consider as well. So now we're going to jump into a live demo over on the Moomoo app, and I'm going to buy $100 worth of a given stock, and we're going to look at the level 2 market data to peek at the order book and try to gain some insights into the price action. All right, guys, so here we are inside of my Moomoo account, and what I'm going to show you how to do here is how to purchase $100 worth of stocks and how we're actually going to take a peek at that level 2 market data to get a better idea of the information that this provides us. Now, obviously, guys, looking at the Moomoo app, there's tons of different features here, and we're not going to cover much of it in this video, but I recently did a full review and tutorial on the Moomoo investing app. So if you guys want to check that out, that's going to be up in the card in the corner for your viewing pleasure. So what we're going to do here, guys, we're going to be buying $100 worth of my favorite stock right now, which is, of course, Genius Brands International. So let's go ahead and click on that here, and we're going to start off by looking at that level 2 market data. So right off the bat, we can look at the chart here and get a general idea for the price action of this stock today. So it opened up lower, and then it shot up positive, and now it's kind of came back towards the middle of where the close was yesterday. So it's actually sort of a day representing indecision, and Genius Brands actually just bounced off that 200-day simple moving average. So showing indecision makes a lot of sense given the potential here for hopefully a trend reversal. But beyond that, guys, let's scroll down here and actually take a look at the order book going on here with Genius Brands. Now, as we said earlier, these are in hundreds, so if you add 2 zeros, that's going to be the actual orders here. The market maker is ARCA, and we can take a look here at the bid and the ask price. So right now, the current best bid and best ask is 165 to 166 as the spread, and that's actually the identical price for all of the other orders here in the book. But for example, we can see here that there's some larger orders. For example, on the bid side, you're seeing a bid for 2,500 shares. What I like to do also is just take a quick glance at this and look at, okay, is there more purchasing? Like, is there more bid volume here? Larger orders on the bid side, or is there larger orders on the ask side? So for example, we see a $2,500 bid price at $1.65, and on the other side, that we see nothing close to 2,500. The highest we see is 1,900. So that is where you could also potentially draw conclusions of bullish sentiment, looking at, you know, the bid orders versus the ask orders, and whether or not we're seeing more bids or more asks. That's just another idea or general way to figure out potentially, you know, where you're going to see some price movement. Because at the end of the day, the reason a stock goes up is because of that supply and demand component. So if there's a lot more people bidding on shares and not too many people looking to part ways with them, that is going to be spelled out, or that's going to be played out here in the order book. You'd be able to see it with more bid orders and less ask orders, and that would result in a price increase due to that demand. So that's how that works here, guys. What we're going to do now is purchase $100 worth of Genius Brands. So we're going to click on the orange trade button, and then we're going to do a market order because we want this order to fill immediately. And in terms of the quantity here, we're just going to do somewhere close to 100 shares. So let's just start off with like 55. That puts us at 90.75, so maybe we'll do 58, 59. Let's try 60 shares. That's $99, and we're looking to have this be a day-only order. So if you wanted to also do a good till canceled order, you could do that, but with a market order, that's totally irrelevant because a market order is going to fill instantaneously. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my password in to unlock trading to make this purchase. So we're all unlocked here, guys. Now I'm going to invest this $99 into Genius Brands, and literally all I do is click on the buy button. And just like that, the order was submitted and the order was filled. So I just purchased 60 shares of GNUS. And if we go over here You can see there were some other buy orders I placed for demonstration purposes. But if we back up here to my overall account and go to positions, we can now see that I own Genius Brands International as well as SiriusXM Holdings. So anyways, guys, that is how you can use level 2 market data to get more insight behind the price action. And if you simply do not want to pay for it, you can use the commission-free trading app known as Moomoo to get free access to level 2 market data in real time. Beyond that, guys, if you want to get a bunch of free stocks, Moomoo has that sponsored link down below. If you use that link, you're going to get the most possible free shares just for opening and funding a brokerage account. So that's going to wrap up this video here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell for future notifications. And as always, guys, I hope to see you in the next video.